Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. I'm Geeta Vara and I'm a London-based Ayurvedic practitioner and wellness coach working with clients like you all over the world, helping you to become the healthiest, most vibrant version of yourself. The way in which I deliver Ayurveda is constantly evolving, but what is consistent is I stay authentic to the science while making it accessible to all through wellness coaching, consultations, virtual workshops, retreats, my book and more. In this short video today, I want to give you a brief introduction to Ayurveda as a preventative system of health as I view and practice it. Ayurveda is both a passion and my purpose, and as we would say in Sanskrit, it's part of my dharma. My mission has always been to demystify Ayurveda and empower you all to be the healthiest version of yourself through personalized wellness. My motto for a healthy life is to stay flexible and be open. Sometimes we have to do a lot of unlearning to actually learn and grow going forward. Now for me, Ayurveda is a journey into the self. By really understanding ourselves and integrating bite-sized chunks of wisdom into practice over time, Ayurveda has just become a way of life for me, and it's ever evolving. I'm never rigid, but always stay conscious and aware of my food, actions and habits. Ayurveda teaches us to live in a way that mirrors nature, staying aligned to our circadian rhythms and seasonal changes. And to this end, the wisdom of Ayurveda is timeless. So what is Ayurveda exactly? So for those of you who are completely new, it is literally translated as the science of life. What you'll come to realize is that Ayurveda is not a strict diet, but more of a fluid application of principles that can be personalized to you and therefore allow you to stay in constant flow just like nature. The more we stay aligned to and mirror the flow of nature, which includes the moon cycles, sun cycles, as well as the seasonal shifts, we can ensure we vitalize, strengthen and energize our mind and body and keep ourselves radiant, youthful and healthy. We are a complete ecosystem within ourselves and we are interdependent with everything around us in nature. So I guess we can say we are a microcosm of the entire universe wrapped in a little neat package. Ayurveda is a 5,000-year-old system of medicine, and in fact it is the oldest known system of medicine. We sometimes refer to Ayurveda as alternative or complementary, but the truth is there is no alternative or substitute for a healthy diet and lifestyle. Otherwise, all we are ever going to do is live in a very reactive way. So many factors lead to a compromised well-being. Western medicines are of course very powerful and sometimes necessary in cases of acute conditions and emergency situations. And of course they do provide instant relief, but can equally have numerous side effects with long-term use, and it can be invasive and foreign to the body. The way I see it is, if a disease takes a long time to develop, which so many of our conditions do as they are actually lifestyle conditions, then so too will the healing also take time, and this is actually going to require patience and perseverance on our part. It really is a journey of self-discovery and constant transformation. So in less than a minute, what are the historical roots of Ayurveda? Well, Ayurveda has its origins in the Indus Valley civilization based in South Asia. The wisdom of Ayurveda was imparted to the rishis through deep meditation, and these teachings were scripted and protective after some time by the sages that we hold utmost respect for, including Sushruta, Charaka and Vagvata. But unfortunately, Ayurveda was suppressed and died out for a long time due to the colonization in India and Sri Lanka, and it was seen very much as a threat, and this was also seen in other areas such as the Indian martial arts that was called Kalari, which is intrinsically related to the powerful marma therapy as we know it in Ayurveda today. However, the good news is, since independence of India, Ayurveda has started to flourish once again as a mainstay of healthcare in India and Sri Lanka, and is now fast spreading throughout the globe. Here in the UK, and as a practitioner, alongside Western diagnostics including blood tests and BP, etc., we also use traditional diagnostic techniques where we check the tongue, the pulse, nails, eyes, have a patient conversation and check the state of the patient's mind. These give us a lot of information that can sometimes be missed in tests. It helps us to read between the lines, and when we spend time with a patient or client, we get to intimately understand their story and build a picture of who our patient actually is. It's within these revelations that we can start to understand the roots of many health issues that come through the doors. Ayurveda prides itself on two foundations. It is both a curative system of medicine and a complete system of preventative healthcare. And it is the latter that is so profound. You know, nearly 5,000 years ago, this wisdom of how to take care of ourselves to prevent disease was also prevalent. We don't want to focus only on sickness and disease management, but on preventative health so we can be living vibrant, fulfilling lives. Now, there are no quick fixes, hacks, or shortcuts when it comes to true Ayurvedic wellness, but at the same time, we do invite and welcome long-lasting results. This continues to be the theme as we get to know and embrace some of the many self-care rituals. And I always say that self-care is healthcare. We've just become too removed, or perhaps deprioritized our need for something outside of us and external gratification maybe. Ayurveda is personalized healthcare for the individual. What will work for one person may not be the most effective treatment for another person because we have a unique mind-body makeup, and we are all influenced by different factors from diet and lifestyle, work, stresses, environment, relationship, sleep health, genetics, and more. We can get to understand our uniqueness through understanding our constitution, or in Ayurveda we call this Prakriti, but you may have come across this being called Dosha Type. Each person is born with a unique constitution, our Prakriti, and the aim is to stay as closely in balance to this as possible. Now, this was my initial fascination with Ayurveda, you know, the shift away from a one-size-fits-all approach to medicine and health. For me, there is no other system that is so all-encompassing for health and well-being. Ayurveda is therefore a person-centered system rather than disease management, as we take on board all the wider aspects of the individual that affect our well-being. The focus of Ayurveda is to treat the root cause of the imbalance and not just the symptoms. And as I already mentioned, this is possible as so much time, attention, and energy is given to the patient. Ayurveda teaches us that we can detect health conditions long before they arise by paying attention to those small niggling physical and mental imbalances, as they are the signs to help us identify which dosha is out of balance, and we can rebalance at this level. And when we do this, we can prevent many diseases from manifesting. Ayurveda also teaches us that good digestive health is at the center of both good health and disease. We question why the disease is there and who is the patient, not just looking to label what the disease is. The focus is on diet, mental, and emotional balance. And we are a complete ecosystem, not a mechanical machine pieced together. If we are to correct the root of the problem, we must address our internal environment. This includes, having balanced doshas, having strong body tissues, clear channels, clear elimination, good strong senses, a calm mind, and connection to the soul, as this is what will lead to optimal well-being. So our inner terrain is everything, and we want to focus on maintaining and strengthening the homeostasis of our inner environment, so it is not conducive for germs, bacteria, and pathogens to breathe. Rather than use external fix to fight off the pathogens, the focus really is on inner immunity, and this is what we call bala, or strength, in Ayurveda. And as well, we will be looking at strengthening the subtle energies of prana, tejas, and ojas. We want to look at the early signs of imbalances, and these can be things that you feel uncomfortable with but feel it would not warrant a visit to the health practitioner. These are the niggling things that can be anything from gas and bloating, fatigue, sleep deprivation, maybe low mood, lack of appetite, heaviness in the body, aches and pains, hyperacidity, maybe constipation or loose motions, profuse smell in the sweat, lack of energy, excessive mucus, and the list goes on and on. But as a practitioner, I want to know about all of these discomforts, as it paints a really detailed picture of what's going on behind the scenes. Healing happens through the subtle adjustments through our diet, lifestyle, herbs, natural medicine, treatment, breathing, meditation, routines and rituals, deep cleansing and rejuvenation process, and so much more. You know, things like mantras, mudras, colors, gems, astrology and vastu, which is the Indian feng shui, and so much more. In fact, everything in the natural world can be both medicinal or a poison. It really all boils down to the wisdom in the application and the environment of the person in question. Digestion is often the epicenter of disease, and yes, it's true, we are what we eat. But for me, it's more accurate to say that we are what we do and don't digest. And I must also emphasize that when I refer to digestion here, I refer to the digestion of food, but I also consider the wider digestion of what we consume into our being. So this is the digestion that happens through our sensory organs, what we process through our mind and emotions as well. So we want to give plenty of attention to ourselves, cultivate more awareness, and pay attention to the signs that our body gives us in the form of our intuition or gut feeling. What we want to be wary of is that we don't get this confused with the cravings of the mind, which can often just lead us to becoming even more imbalanced. This can be so obvious in some people who might be stressed and wired, and yes, they are those people who are the ones pounding it down at the gym or getting through the day, you know, just on coffee, and then in the evenings just on beers and wines. It's actually pushing the body into a further state of an imbalance. We talk about mind, body and soul, but what does this actually refer to? Well, it's so funny because here we can often compartmentalize these areas into three separate parts of us, but we must look at all of these simultaneously. We want to connect to our true nature, our spiritual self, by taking care of the gross self, meaning looking after our local self, the mind, the body, the ego, which needs self-assurance, attention and praise. We need to keep these all in a healthy balance. If we ensure the local self stays healthy, we can enable the greater self to then emerge. And that is what we call swastha in Ayurveda, connecting to something greater than ourselves, holistic health if you like. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. Please feel free to like, share and subscribe to this channel for more ancient Ayurvedic wisdom and wellness tips, and connect with me over on Instagram.